Are you feeling stuck in a home that no longer works for you and your family? Stay tuned. I have a lot to talk about in this video. So, are you feeling stuck in a home that no longer fits your life? Maybe your family is growing, or maybe the kids have moved out, or maybe you need a real home office instead of just working from the dining room table. Or maybe that long commute's just driving you crazy. At the same time, if you're like a lot of San Diego homeowners, you're probably holding on to an ultra low rate and thinking, I can't afford to give this up. Or maybe you're a first time home buyer and you feel like today's market rates make homeownership just impossible. But here's the thing I want to explain today is that you don't have to pay today's high interest rates. When you work with me and my lender, we structure your purchase in a way that lowers your rate and your monthly payment, making homeownership much more affordable. So, how does this work? Well, what we do is we negotiate with the sellers to get credits at closing, which we then apply to buy down your interest rate. This means you pay below market rates and spend less on your mortgage every single month. So, let me break this down with an example. So, let's say you find a home priced at $800,000. Instead of just offering $800,000, we structure the deal to include a 2% seller credit, which is $16,000 back to you at closing. And then we take that money and we buy down your interest rate, bringing it down to around 4 or 5% instead of today's market rate. So that means a lower monthly payment, more home for your money, and the ability to buy now instead of having to wait. So, why would the seller agree to do this? Let's talk about the market timing for a second because this is really where you can win big. A couple years ago, when rates were at record lows, the real estate market in San Diego was absolutely insane. Buyers were competing against 15 or 20 other offers, homes were selling way over list price, and it was common for people to waive things like inspections and contingencies just to get their offer accepted. In fact, I personally sold a home for $400,000 over list price just to get my client the house that they really wanted. They were willing to pay. So, fast forward to today, and we're in a totally different landscape right now. Right now, a lot of buyers, just like you, are waiting on the sidelines. They're holding off because of interest rates. That means fewer offers, less competition, and most importantly, more motivated sellers. So, sellers who need to sell are much more open to negotiating and offering credits because they're not dealing with 15 competing offers like they were a couple of years ago. They're willing to work with buyers to make the deal happen. So, this is why buying right now might actually be the best time to buy. Because once interest rates start dropping, guess what happens? Buyers flood back into the market, competition ramps up, prices go up, and suddenly, instead of negotiating for a seller credit to lower your rate, you're competing against multiple buyers and having to pay over asking all over again. So, while everyone else is waiting, the savvy buyers are getting ahead of the curve. They're looking into great deals, they're negotiating seller credits, and they're securing homes before the next wave of competition hits. And here's the best part, if you buy now with the lower rate using seller credits and the rates drop later, you can always refinance to that lower rate. Okay, so bottom line, instead of focusing on where rates are today, let's focus on what monthly payment works best for you. From there, I'll work with my lender to structure a deal that gets you into the home you want and at the payment you're comfortable with. Real estate is all about timing, and the buyers who move strategically are the ones who come out ahead. If you're thinking about making a move, let's chat. Call or text me at 760-505-7358 or use the link below to schedule a time for us to connect. Life is too short to live in a home that doesn't work for you. Let's find you one that does.